No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and stirring les pots. That's the job to which I have been assigned, and I welcome you to do it with me. The way the show goes on a Talking Point Tuesday, Hour 1, we look at the left coast, what's happening on the Pacific Ocean side of town. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. Today we'll have a special guest to do that with us, a youth organizer with Black Lives Matter Youth Vanguard, Tandiwe Abdullah, will be joining me. In Hour 3, we do a deep dive with a person or persons of interest or a hot topic. Our hot topic today, hate crimes and fighting white supremacy, specifically as it targets Black people. We'll have a special guest, but we'll also have some space, some breathing space, some talking space. And for that, you call 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580, or tap in the YouTube chat. It's youtube.com and then KBLA 1580. Please like, follow, subscribe, comment, start some stuff. I actually have a YouTube channel too. For some reason, it's kind of hard to find. I think it may be a shadow ban or something. But it's DiPrima Radio, same as all my other social media, DiPrima, and then radio. You can also find it under Dominique B. DiPrima, and the B is for Baraka. And please subscribe to that. I could use a few followers. Same on TikTok. Let's use it while we have it. I'm also there at DiPrima Radio. So, yeah. That's what we're doing today. We got a lot to take on, look at, overstand, as y'all like to say, and I'm here for that. It's crazy because if you remember last year, and it's kind of gone into this year too, we had this hot labor summer, which was a hot labor fall, which turned into a hot labor year. And there have been a lot of good things that came out of that, a lot of progress, right? But now we are looking at a new administration, which the new Republican administration, which actually has a lot of the same old Republican policies. Some of the MAGA stuff is new, but some of it is, a song as old as time, which is the union busting, the anti-labor sentiment, the Republican tendency to not want to pay workers. I think that is very, very amazing that they've had this track record forever and a day, but yet they're somehow affiliated with the working man, the working woman, the, the uplifting of the working class, which is just insane, in my opinion, because they have, ever since I've been paying attention to the news, which is a very long time, considering that my mom is an activist, my dad is an activist, and I grew up paying attention. And yet, all this time, the Republican Party has consistently been anti-labor. So we'll see what happens. I think we're going to have, between Project 2025 and the newly emboldened and prepared, albeit corrupt and infighting, MAGA generation, I think we're going to see much more aggressive anti-labor, anti-worker kinds of positions. And that is why I love to see now, while we have time, which is 30 days or something. January 20th. Yeah, where are we at? We're at the 17th, so a little more than 30 days before MAGA takeoff. The Disney company here has, in Anaheim, it's the Disney company is the parent company, but this is based on their practices right here in Orange County in Anaheim. They've agreed to settle a class action lawsuit for $233 million. And that is because they cheated their workers. It's a huge wage theft case where they actually got around the minimum wage laws in Anaheim by cheating. And what's interesting about that is that those minimum wage laws were meant really specifically to deal with those Disney workers. The settlement will affect more than 50,000 Disney workers, some that still are there, some that have since left. It's back pay. Going back to 2019, the beginning of 2019, when a new minimum wage was meant to go into effect, and they found a way to get around it. This is a city law. Cities have the right to create their own minimum wage laws, which is why the city of West Hollywood here in Southern California has the highest minimum wage in the state of California, I believe. And some certain fields have different minimum wages. Fast food workers have to get $20 an hour. So the city of Anaheim has a different wage than, the rest of Orange County. And my understanding is this is based on the fact that Disney is there and they make a ton of money by utilizing or exploiting, depending on how you want to look at it, local workers there. Anaheim has a pretty high cost of living. It's L.A. The Disneyland spokesperson is saying that currently all of the cast members make at least $19.90 an hour. And trust and believe they are making sure to shave off that 10 cents, keeping them under 20. That was a requirement of a law, a local measure that passed. Last year, the Disney company, agreed to a union negotiation to pay $24 an hour for those workers. There's 14,000 workers that are covered by that union agreement that work for Disney. And so this is a big deal, and these are the kind of victories that we've seen for the past couple of years of hot labor summer, hot labor year, whether it was SAG, AFTRA, fighting for raises for actors and some protections for AI, not as much of a protective layer legally as many actors would have wanted, but a start. Writers Guild too, but these things are going to come up because writers and actors want and need more stringent protections from AI copying their creative voices and the essence of their persons, copying them and then reproducing them without compensating that human being is what AI does. It's what it specializes in. So that's going to be more of a sticking point. And these are the victories that are so important. You've already seen a Trump judge overturn a Biden administration law, which was meant to expand overtime to more workers who made up to 50-something thousand a year, where it had been 40. And that was something the Biden administration had pursued to make it more fair because, salaried workers do not get overtime. If they make more than a certain amount of money, the company is allowed to work them to their heart's delight. And so the Biden administration had raised the ceiling for how much you have to make before you can just be worked with no overtime. But a Trump judge has now reversed that, and Biden is still the president. I know you wouldn't know that looking at the news, which is all drumpf all the time right now, as if he was actually the president. But no, we got another 30 days of a Democratic administration. I don't see the president taking huge advantage of it, and I do see the media being complicit with the president-elect in making it seem like he's already the president by reporting on him around the clock and acting like we don't have an actual president. That said, I celebrate this victory for those workers here. And I think we ought to circle the wagons and make sure that we are taking up as much space, consolidating as many of our victories as possible right now before we face what I believe, and I hope I'm wrong, but based on the entire history of the Republican Party since I've been alive, I'm not wrong, before we face a barrage of anti-worker, anti-union backlash and legislating that could be on the horizon. I always say it, quiet as it's kept, LA is a union town. And so I'm happy to see this victory for workers and the money that will be in their pockets just in time for the thievery that lies ahead. I invite you to call in 800-920-1580. We're talking all things left coast. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Somebody bring out the confetti, baby!
Starting Monday, January 6th. KBLA Talk 1580 has a new midday lineup.
I'm excited.
Are you ready for Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornell West, Jesse Jackson Jr., D.L. Hughley, and E. Quarterly Corte back to back?
Oh my God.
Are you really ready for all this smoke?
I'm ready, brother.
Yes, we still have Dominique DiPrima in the mornings and Zoe Williams in the evenings, but middays just got lit on KBLA Talk 1580.
We on fire.
All across America, people are talking about our new midday lineup. Starting Monday, January 6th, our KBLA 1580 app downloads are on fire because everybody's going to be tuning in.
Yes, I love you guys. You are the bomb.
Now would be a good time to hit up SMB at KBLA1580.com if you want folks to hear about your business or brand. That's SMB at KBLA1580.com. It's going up in 2025 on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's going up.
That's what I want.
Did you know that 1 in 6 African American men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer? This month, every time you purchase Gillette's family of products, they'll donate to support Movember. Whether you're looking for Gillette's Best Shave, a regimen to help prevent new shave irritation and bumps, or award-winning beard care products, every Gillette purchase can make a difference in the fight against prostate cancer. Visit pggoodeveryday.com/Movember for details. Exclusions apply.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm-fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
Slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Let's get back to me. Let's get back to you. Let's get back to talking about it because that's what we do around here. And I'm so glad that you are here. So I don't know if I was really a little confusing when I explained what happened at Disney, but the Disneyland workers, there was a report that came out, something like Working for the Mouse House, I think it was called, and it showed how many Disney workers were earning so little that they couldn't live comfortably. And by comfortably, I mean have a place to live. Like there were Disney workers living in their cars around the Disneyland area, choosing between meds and food, that kind of not living comfortably. By not living comfortably, I mean suffering, right? Even though they had full-time jobs. And there was a law that passed that was passed by the Anaheim City Council, Measure L, that required Disney to pay $15 an hour. Well, it required any company that got tax rebates from the city to pay $15 an hour. Disney did not. They ignored that law. They argued that they didn't get a tax rebate. They actually pulled a stunt of making the city council tear up an agreement they had that gave them a tax rebate to show that they didn't have one. They fought it in court. A judge agreed that the workers did not deserve the $15 an hour. The workers appealed, and the 4th District Court of Appeal reversed the initial ruling because they said the tax agreement, those special rebates that Disney got, were baked in the cake of an agreement that Disney brokered back in the 90s to expand the park. part of their expansion deal was they got these tax rebates. So basically the court said, we don't care if you tear up something in 2018 if you've been getting this massive break going back to 1996. Huge victory for the workers. They've got, whether they work there still or not, they got back pay for that, the difference between that $15 an hour and whatever they were actually getting. Now they have to pay $19.90, and they're bragging about it like they've been paying it all along, but in fact they haven't. That's only the past few years. So that is a big, giant victory. And what is wage theft? I don't think we talk enough about it. Wage theft is when a company either pays you less per hour than they've agreed to do, or they make you clock out and keep working. A lot of companies do that. Or they don't let you clock in. First you've got to set everything up and then you clock in. No, that's working. Or first you have to clock out and then you have to close. Companies do that all the time. Or you clock out and then your boss asks you to do a few extra things. That is actually considered theft, them stealing your labor, your time from you. And it's against the law. There's a whole labor commission in California that one of their jobs is to deal with that. If you can prove it. If that's happening to you, you got to take notes and be able to prove it. But I love starting the day with that because it's a big, big deal. It's, I think, was definitely the biggest such settlement this year, but I think it may be the biggest such settlement ever. So go Disney workers. I'm proud of you for hanging in there. Sometimes, especially when you're against a giant. And have you been to Disneyland? Have you seen Disney? I have. I actually enjoy it, but not the lines, but I still like to go. But it costs about $1 million to get in there, and they keep raising the price. And then everything you buy, you buy a soda, you buy one tortilla chip, it's like $100. So it's not like they can't afford it. You go to Disneyland with the family, you're going to spend some serious money. It just is what it is. And people do it because they love it. I mean, people enjoy the park, and more power to them. That's what they sell. It's entertaining. Okay. But don't gouge your workers. I don't want to pay a $75 hamburger so that a worker has to live in their car. That's just not my idea of the happiest place on earth. Let's go to Fred calling us from Crenshaw District. Good morning, Mr. Fred.
Good morning, Dominique. Oh, how are you? Were you able to do that small assignment last week about who might be a good Democrat to run in 2020? I think we agreed, Gavin Newsom. You come up with some people?
I didn't realize that it was an assignment. I didn't realize you were my teacher, Fred. But I know, you know what? I'm not thinking about 2028 in that way that much. And I'll tell you why. I just feel like we spend too much time in election mode and not enough time in governing mode. What I will say is this, though. I would love to see a third-party candidate who actually has a chance. I don't know if it's possible to do that much organizing in 4 years, but I sure hope it's happening. And I hope that the third-party candidates can cooperate so Jill Stein could sit her butt down, and let a Cornell West or a, Raz Baraka, no, not him, but, a progressive black person, Stacey Abrams, for example, take that spot of third party and actually have a shot at it. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, okay, I see. But Cornell West didn't do too good. I mean, I think he was going to be a third party. I guess Pete didn't want to vote for him. What do you think the problem was there?
Well, they didn't have the money and they didn't have the infrastructure. I mean, initially he was with the Green Party, and then I don't know what happened. There was some kind of falling out, and Jill Stein decided to run for the 11th time. So she did that, and there was no unity there. And so he started his own party, the Justice for All Party, but it was brand new. They didn't have time to build the infrastructure, to make sure they were on the ballot in 50 states, to raise money. And that's what I mean when I say a third party with a chance. I would like to see a third party who
You think we'll see one?
who has done the work. I do, but I don't know when. I don't know if it'll be 2028, 2032, or 21.
Because I know Ross Perot tried to run. Remember him?
Yeah, and he had all that money, but he
Yeah.
but he didn't win. But I feel like just from reading about that this is the last time we actually had a real serious contender for a third party. Who are you looking at?
Yep.
I know you have someone in mind, because you always do.
Yeah, but anyway, I was looking at the LA Times yesterday, and a lot of unions are gearing up to try to get people unionized, because when I call him a crazy man, Trump, when he come in, it's going to be a mess. And I know you were laughing last week when I made the statement. It's going to be a nightmare on Elm Street. I worked for the county 25 years, and shoot, I may even have to go back to work. So I called a friend of mine, Channel 7 News, to find out if Trump might be touching Social Security medical in 2026. With him telling so many lies, do you think he may take a shot at it?
Ah, Lord, I don't know, Fred.
It's hard to say, huh?
It's hard to say, and I'm like I said, I just feel like we spend too much time on the electoral politics. That's why I kind of agree that the election season should be shortened. I mean, for everybody. It's not fair to have Kamala Harris only get 90 days and Trump gets 4 years to campaign.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody should have 3 months, and that's it, so that we don't have to spend all of our lives talking presidential politics.
Yeah. But don't you think Biden kind of waited too long? I think he should have got her to Nancy Pelosi and some of his key people say he should get out. Oh, I'm going to stay in there. I'm going to fight. Look what happened. But on a more glorious note, you plan to be in the King Parade January 20th. I plan to be down at King Crenshaw. I'm going to wave at everybody as they make the left-hand turn from King into Crenshaw. You plan to be on a float?
I shall see. I'm awaiting my marching orders. I'm almost always part of it, though, Fred. So I'll look for you. I'll look for you out there. It is definitely time for news, traffic, and sports. Starving Myself to Life says, why isn't Harris the obvious choice? Well, he asked me who I was thinking of. Harris could be a choice. I don't know if she's the obvious choice, though, because she is a black woman, and we are in a white supremacist country. So now, if she had more than 90 days and there was no cheating, could she win? Yeah, I think so. But also I'm looking at, could we have a truly progressive candidate? Kamala Harris is a moderate. I supported her, and I think she would have made a great president. I think she was more qualified than Biden or Trump. But I think the question, at least the question for me, was how do we get an actual progressive? Love to hear from you. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know from BIN News. The FBI warns that the Chinese Communist Party is creating false stories to discredit U.S. lawmakers with hawkish views on Beijing and support for Taiwan. The CCP allegedly claims these lawmakers are taking bribes from Taiwan to promote pro-Taiwan views. Svetlana Dali, who previously snuck onto a Delta flight to Paris, was arrested again in Buffalo, New York, for allegedly trying to sneak into Canada. She had cut off her ankle monitor and attempted to cross the border. A new bill by Secretary Randy Fine aims to end in-state tuition for undocumented college students in Florida, reversing a 2014 law. Representative Anna Escamani argues it benefits tax-paying residents who grew up in Florida. And Sony's Kraven the Hunter flopped at the box office, earning just $11 million in its first weekend, marking the worst opening for a Sony Marvel property. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
New deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select holiday decor clearance. Plus, save with weekly deal drops on appliances, tools, and more. Valid 12/12 through 12/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers snapped a 3-game losing streak Monday night by dropping 144 points on the Utah Jazz. James Harden scored 34 of his 41 points in the first half. The championship game of the NBA Cup tournament is tonight in Vegas. Milwaukee takes on Oklahoma City. $500,000 to each player on the winning team. The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked number 1 in the nation, is 11-0 after a 32-point win over Cal Poly. Bruins forward Janiyah Barker filled up her stat line with 12 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals, and 3 block shots. Former USC quarterback Caleb Williams continues to have a rough rookie season in the NFL. The Chicago Bears are 4-10 after losing at Minnesota Monday night. The 10 losses are more than the number of defeats Williams had during his 2 years at USC. Williams was 18-8 as the Trojans quarterback. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
On behalf of the Ayers family, KBLA Talk 1580 announces the public funeral services for our very own Robin Ayers on Saturday, December 21st, 12 noon, in the living room at the Faithful Central Bible Church, 400 West Florence Avenue in Inglewood. Robin will be sorely missed by all who knew her and the many lives she touched. We will hold on to our fondest memories forever. Family and friends are invited to come celebrate Robin's joyful life Saturday, December 21st at 12 noon in the living room at Faithful Central Bible Church, 400 West Florence Avenue in Inglewood. KBLA Talk 1580 extends sincere condolences to the Ayers family. Robin will always be in our hearts.
Hello, LA. Metro is your partner for thriving communities and sustainable travel. We're dedicated to providing better transit for everyone. When you go Metro, you're more connected to jobs, healthcare, school, and loved ones. It's the way of the future. Start your journey at metro.net.
The big holiday beauty sale at Ulta Beauty is happening now. Get the best gifts up to 50% off, including can't-miss deals on Urban Decay palettes, luxurious YSL and Armani fragrances, and the fabulous Shark Dryer and Styler. But that's not all. New deals drop every week. So whether you're treating yourself or finding the perfect gifts for your crew, head to an Ulta Beauty store today. Get all the best gifts, all at Ulta Beauty.
Add confidence to every holiday adventure and get it done with a rugged and capable Chevy truck or SUV. Now during Red Tag, get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $27.78 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment is 26.8%. You must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 1/2/25.
The revolution will not be televised.
This is Brother Cornell West. My dear brothers and sisters, I'm full of joy and delight to announce that I'm joining the precious family at KBLA Talk 1580, founded and led by my dear brother Tavis Smiley himself. Yes, the name of the show is Truth Time, and I'll be working with the inimitable Nina Turner out of Cleveland, Ohio, sister of great vision, and we will be on weekdays at 12 noon. We will be following Brother Tavis Smiley's show. We will begin Monday, January the 6th. That's right, Monday, January the 6th. Get ready for a different kind of insurrection. We coming with Martin Luther King Jr. and Fannie Lou Hamer and Curtis Mayfield and Aretha Franklin, and gonna add a little Gil Scott Heroin too, as Nina Simone sits at the center. That's right.
The revolution will be live.
That's what we gonna do. Please come with us on this fantastic voyage.
The revolution will put you in the driver's seat.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, so I'm not going to hyper focus on the election all the time. One of the things that I think is weird about these right-wing pundits is that they want to talk endlessly about Kamala Harris still. They want to disrespect her, disparage her, and say how terrible she was. Are you still threatened by her, or is it that you know she actually won? Or is it that you think she would have won had she had a decent amount of time to prepare? What is it? What's the thing? In any case, we got a lot of other things going on that are worth talking about, organizing around, focusing on, and preparing. So that's kind of where I am with it, and it's one of the reasons why we're talking about our health and well-being. And other victories in labor, and also some things that need to be worked on that are not necessarily just presidential politics. I will say, reportedly, there's a split in the Harris camp about whether or not she should run for governor or try to run in 2028, per your point in the chat here, that if she runs for governor, that's a whole thing she's got to prepare for. That's 2026, I believe, which means campaigning starts next year. And the 2028 election, obviously, is 4 years away. So she would either need to be focusing on one or the other. She cannot run for governor, and then if she doesn't make it, run for president. She can't do both simultaneously. So apparently her advisors are split on whether it makes more sense for her to hang tough and try to run again in 2028, or become the first black woman ever to be governor should she win the state of California. Now, if she runs for governor and loses, I think it's going to really be tough for her if she's considering a run for president, say in 32 or something like that. So she kind of has to choose, I think. Were she to be elected governor, she couldn't really leave in a year to go run for president. I think that would be a bad look, even though governor is considered a great launching point to become a president. So I think she's going to have to decide. It would be lovely to have, a Governor Harris be able to be a thorn in the side of Donald Trump for at least 2 of his years of being president. But we also have some great other people running. Antonio Villaraigosa, Tony Thurmond, Betty Yee, and more are all expected to jump in the governor's race. So she has a lot of competition. I think she would, according to the polling that the LA Times published, would be immediately a favorite. But, you never know. Elections are not guaranteed. So there's a lot to consider. It'll be interesting to see what they decide, and we will know soon, because if she is going to run for governor, she'll need to make that plain in 2025 and get out front on that campaign. We will definitely see. The other things folks have on their mind, and I've emphasized that 45 is not the president yet, even though the media is acting like it. But people are trying to prepare. And one of the local impacts that seems very troubling is that there are these dollars, these Medi-Cal dollars, that typically they come from the federal government, and they're typically spent strictly, narrowly for health care. Well, some of that money is now being used to bolster homeless programs, because being unhoused is very bad for your health, and certainly raises the cost of health care for the government. If you're in a house, you're much likely to have a lot of serious mental health and physical health problems, which one could argue, and we are arguing, then we, the people, will have to pay for later on down the line when you have to go to emergency care or be hospitalized for mental health treatment, et cetera, et cetera. So the government, the federal government, has given special permission to the state of California to use some of this Medicaid, Medi-Cal money to pay for homeless programs. That permission expires in 2026, and it will be up to the new Republican administration to decide whether or not they want to renew that money. And if they don't, it will put a big dent in our ability to help the unhoused. And these are the kinds of impacts. When we say F around and find out, unfortunately, it's not just the people that voted for this administration that are going to find out. I was in Venice yesterday, and I saw a row of those campers, you know, the mobile homes that are being used in some places for unhoused persons to live. It's terrible because they don't have sewage drainage or garbage pickup, so a lot of them are pretty gross. But anyway, I was in that area, and I saw one in a long row of mobile homes with a giant Trump sign in the window, blocking the front window completely. It was huge, and it just said Trump. And I thought to myself, the ironies in this election are just too much, almost too much to bear. I mean, labor unions, white labor union members voting for the union-busting party, the Republicans. Unhoused people living in trailers with no running water, no hot water, no place to really get clean, with giant Trump signs. Are you not aware that the Republican Party's new proposal for the unhoused is rounding them up like undocumented people? This is the same plan for the unhoused, rounding them up and forcibly relocating them to tent encampments in the middle of the desert. That's the plan. But you want to have a big sign in your window. So I don't know if it's the undocumented workers or the Latino and other, second generation, third generation descendants of immigrants who think he's not talking about me, or it's some kind of denial and delusion. But Fox Meet Hen House is the theme for the 2024 election. 800-920-1580 if you've got something to say about any of these things. But see, the reason I'm drawing the line here, the straight line, is that now the 45, 47 president will have the power to decide whether these programs continue to help the unhoused. And it's called CalAIM, the program. And he's already said he wants to punish California. California didn't vote for him. California is a blue state, even though it has a lot of red. It's kind of more like a purple state, but, we're supposedly sanctuary state, all the things that they make up. Kamala Harris is from here. He's a vengeful, small-minded little person. So will he approve the continued permission for us to use health dollars to help the unhoused? I doubt it. I mean, maybe he won't get around to it. Maybe he won't think of it. But this idea that we can use healthcare dollars to address the social determinants of health, i.e., it's really hard to stay healthy when you don't have anything to eat and nowhere to live. I just don't see the new Republican authoritarian administration who feels like they should have the right to round you up and force you to go into an encampment in the middle of the desert just don't see them approving the continuation of such a humanitarian use of our public dollars. We shall see. We'll be tracking it. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This is where we are amplifying Black progressive voices, ideas, and little heard and considered stories 24/7. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial goals. With a budget, you can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses, like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to find the right balance, but keep working on it. For more financial health tips, visit chase.com or stop by a local branch. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do you do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Add confidence to every holiday adventure and get it done with a rugged and capable Chevy truck or SUV. Now during Red Tag, get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $27.78 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment is 26.8%. You must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 1/2/25.
I was so excited when I heard the sandwich was back. What's up? This is Mike.
And this is Celia.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich
is the symphony of flavors. You can always count on that crispy, tender, juicy chicken. It's so good.
My favorite part is the pimento cheese. Topped off with the honey, it all comes together perfectly. I like the original.
I like the spicy chicken fillet. But either way,
you're getting a winner.
The Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is back with a bite. Try it with the original or spicy filet now for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
And I do appreciate you. Boy, the chat on YouTube at KBLA 1580 is great. I wish I could say all of it and share all of it with you, but starving myself to life as usual with things that get me a little bit fired up. Says nobody knowingly votes their self-interest. I don't think that's true. He says, if to be honest, politicians on both sides duped people. No, I don't agree with that. Yeah, I mean, of course, politicians lie, and of course, some people could be, but the thing about it is, nobody lies as much as Donald J. Trump. No politician ever has, and probably no politician ever will be able to get away with it. I mean, I can give you so many examples, but one of the simplest ones, he claimed throughout the whole campaign he was going to bring food prices down. Then once he wins, he's like, well, it's hard to bring food prices down, meaning he ain't going to do it. And he ain't going to do it because he's putting on tariffs and everything's going to be more expensive. So, yeah, the both sides thing, nah. I mean, if a few people were tricked into voting for Kamala Harris, I think that's more on them. She wasn't constantly lying and promising things that she could not and would not deliver. Anyway, let's go to Jasmine calling us from Washington. Hi, Jasmine. Good morning. Oh, Jamin. Excuse me. I put an S in there that wasn't in there. Hi, Jamin.
Yes, ma'am. Jamin, actually, is how you pronounce it.
Jamin. Okay. That's a name I've never heard, but nice one. Good morning.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I am definitely calling. I am definitely with the American Negro Collective. Definitely my brother Talent came on here, Rashid. And I am so appreciative of the Freedom Fridays, just to let you know. To speak about the topic that you have on right now, I am a definite independent. I feel like, the same lies that I'm sure Donald Trump will bring to the table. I feel like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were doing the same thing, kind of gaslighting us at the same time. And my thing is, how do we really get a voice in there that is going to speak for the Black American Negro freedmen community? And how can we galvanize these people to be more open to someone like us from the foundation of America, get in a position of power so he can help our people. I understand all people need help, but Dr. Sabai said it best. Once you heal the bottom of the foot, only then can the entire body heal. We've always been the bottom of the foot. So why does it seem so hard for people to listen to us, Dominique?
Well, I think the model of white supremacy, having dehumanized, devalued, and undermined us, that has a lot to do with it. I think that you're right. The only way that we, Black Americans, get true representation in the White House is to take that power, whatever that looks like. Organizing, fundraising, if it's, what my guest on the last Freedman Friday said, which is getting the majority in enough states where we can at least control the policies within those states. I think it's what Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without a demand. And so from that perspective, I can see the both sidesing. But when it comes to lying, no, Trump lies way more. The Washington Post actually counted. He lies more than any president. He lies way more than Biden or Harris or anybody. But to your point, it kind of doesn't matter, because if your goal is getting a Black American who truly represents justice for us in this country, the only way that's going to happen is if we force it to happen. It's not going to happen out of kindness or by accident.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, Black State Majority, who you're talking about, King, yeah. I'm actually moving out to Delaware with him behind that.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I leave March 1st.
Oh, you already got a ticket. Here's the thing that I love about that, Jamin. You're walking to walk. You're not just like, oh, let me post on Twitter and then be mad. You're changing your whole life. I love that. Right. I've never been to Delaware. I'm not sure how it is there, but I love that you're taking action.
Yes, ma'am. I'm in a wheelchair at that, so the benefits outweigh the negatives, just because, Delaware is a very disabled friendly community. They're very open.
I didn't know that.
I've done a lot. Yes, ma'am. They are very, it's appealing to someone in my position. But the point is we're going to galvanize that support. I'm going to galvanize that support. I was the person out here in Washington State, pushing for everyone. I was gathering all the analytics and support to help people decide to move out there. I was never going to do that until Donald Trump won. And, my family definitely was that kind of shattered everything around me. And it was kind of like, instead of telling people to go out there, when my family doesn't support reparations and doesn't support true repair, I'm mulatto. So I'm half white, I'm half Negro. So that comes into conflict, and definitely those white fragility subjects, when that came up, it was in my own family. And so I was like, instead of telling people to go there, I'm going to go and show people.
So a couple things I'll quickly address before the top of the hour that you said. First of all, they're asking in the chat, a bunch of people are asking to give them a specific example of a lie that Biden or Harris told that you were upset by. I'm also interested to hear, my mom is also white, but I consider myself a Black American. When I was much younger, I used to think of that term mulatto, and some people say biracial, but I've grown to not like either one of those terms, and I just wonder if you want to address either of those things. Can you name a lie, and can you say why you choose to identify as mulatto?
I can definitely name a lie, like off the top of my head with the quickness.
No, but you said Biden and Harris, so that's what we're talking about.
Right. I can definitely name a lie that all of us heard. That was, he wasn't going to pardon his son. That's just one of the thousands.
Yeah, but okay, you're right. He lied about that. But I mean, how does that impact Black Americans? Who cares? Wouldn't you pardon your son? I don't care. Anyway, okay, we only have a couple minutes here, and I want, if you have a chance to, if you feel comfortable explaining why you choose to label yourself a mulatto.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, that was the way the census in 1865 labeled us.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. So
at least you have a clear logic for it. I give you that.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I was involved with the OMB fight where they recently took away the word Negro out of the lexicon.
Yeah.
We believe that's a horrible crime against our people specifically, taking away the one word that we've had under for 246 years of slavery.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that a lot on this show. I just, on Freedman Fridays, I understand the argument. I think that we were designated freedmen, so that could serve just as well. The point is, we are an identifiable group, whatever the name, but that's interesting that you base your self-designation on the census, the Reconstruction era census. Thanks for calling, Jamin. It's great to talk with you. Hope you'll call again. Tandiwe Abdullah joins me next, and we're talking about all the things, what's going on nationally and internationally. That's after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know from BIN News. The FBI warns that the Chinese Communist Party is creating false stories to discredit U.S. lawmakers with hawkish views on Beijing and support for Taiwan. The CCP allegedly claims these lawmakers are taking bribes from Taiwan to promote pro-Taiwan views. Svetlana Dali, who previously snuck onto a Delta flight to Paris, was arrested again in Buffalo, New York, for allegedly trying to sneak into Canada. She had cut off her ankle monitor and attempted to cross the border. A new bill by Secretary Randy Fine aims to end in-state tuition for undocumented college students in Florida, reversing a 2014 law. Representative Anna Escamani argues it benefits tax-paying residents who grew up in Florida. And Sony's Kraven the Hunter flopped at the box office, earning just $11 million in its first weekend, marking the worst opening for a Sony Marvel property. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
New deals just dropped at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select holiday decor clearance. Plus, save with weekly deal drops on appliances, tools, and more. Valid 12/12 through 12/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers snapped a 3-game losing streak Monday night by dropping 144 points on the Utah Jazz. James Harden scored 34 of his 41 points in the first half. The championship USC quarterback Caleb Williams continues to have a rough rookie season in the NFL. The Chicago Bears are 4-10 after losing at Minnesota